Hello, everyone. News Channel 3, Chief Meteorologist Keith Thompson here with a Facebook and YouTube live weather update. Got about 9 minutes after 9 o'clock. I'm getting closer to 9 o'clock. Still trying to figure out, getting this thing online in our digital studio here. So thanks for your patience on that. But, of course, we have lots to go over here. So we'll give a little bit of time for folks to get into the room. I can see already the eyeballs starting to pop up. So you can see what I have going here as far as what we're tracking. Of course, you know what we're tracking here. A couple of things, really. I don't want to short sell what we have coming up over the weekend, even though I don't think it's really going to be very impactful, but that we will probably be seeing some snow showers over the weekend. But I don't think it's going to compare to what we're going to have coming in here for next Tuesday and Wednesday. So we'll get to that eventually. I'm going to let some folks get into the room here first. Hello to you, Gwen. Thanks for checking in. And Antho in Whitehall. You probably won't get as much, I don't think, from this Saturday. Sunday, you might get an inch, but I'd be surprised, but could with a little clipper that's coming through. Happy Thursday to you too, Mike. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Dan, Chief Dan in the house representing Hastings. And I appreciate you being here, Dan. As always, Orlo and Paw Paw represent. Jarrett, hello to you. Thank you for being here. Jarrett, I think it's Decatur. Is that correct? I'm going by memory here. Kylie is here as well. Thank you so much, Kylie. Hope your little one's doing all right. Nancy in Battle Creek and Kathy, good evening to you. A beautiful day in Sturgis. You know what? You had more sunshine there in southeastern St. Joe County, let's say over to Branch County and even Calhoun County on up to Eden County over, had a little more sunshine than, say, folks closer to 131 and up and down 131 in West did. So a beautiful day for you there. In Sturgis, it wasn't as much in other parts of West Michigan. Not what you want to hear. Well, you're up there in snow country, so might as well get it, right? Rachel's also in Sturgis, Lawton. Sorry, Van Buren County, though. I got that right, Jarrett. And Jennifer's in Vicksburg. Thanks for checking in. Twin blizzards. No. Possible next week. No. Whatever you heard on that is not true. So let's get to it, and then we'll break everything down. I do think we have a winter storm that's going to be lining us up next week. If anything, what might add that blizzardy element to it, and I did see that term even dropped in the National Weather Service area forecast discussion from Grand Rapids this afternoon, is just the fact that there's likely, or it was this morning actually, I think that discussion, is the fact that we're going to have some strong winds, some gusty winds, and that could cause some problems, of course. Allegan's in the house. Tammy, thank you for being here. David, live from 737. Oh, wow, are you kidding? So you're over Montana right now, and you are tuning in live from a 737 en route to Seattle. That wins the prize for today, David. Thank you for being diligent there, and I hope you got your earbuds in so that nobody else on the plane has to hear me going on and on, right? But thank you so much, and safe travels for the rest of your trip to Seattle. Jim says, let it snow. Gary, in from Grand Junction. And Mother Nature, tell her to take a hike, Kylie. I can't do that. Shannon, good evening to you. Let's get to it. All right, well, we have folks in the room. See, we're up to about 250 now people in the room. That's good. Let's go. Gordon says, let it snow. It's about to. Here's what you see that's on the menu. I'm going to shrink the screen just a little bit, or at least my position, so that you can see what's going on. Tranquil for Friday. Tomorrow is Friday. Brittany, I'm going to get to that, how much you're going to get in cold water to some degree. It's still too early to peg definitive numbers on it. And I'm going to tell you, I thought what the National Weather Service said in its area forecast discussion this afternoon about how to treat this information going forward with that next week's storm was really good. Really good. And so I'm going to read that coming up. But let's talk Friday, first of all. Tomorrow, looking good, looking really good. Takansha, Dennis, thank you for checking. Appreciate that. Kylie, I'll get to that. Jaden, hello to you. Bob, baking cookies for David Turner. Are you in Seattle? Because he's on the way, and he'll be there soon, right? But right now he's flying over Montana, which, by the way, we'll have to check in with, I believe it's Rose, who has our Billings bureau there. Maybe she can look up and see you, David. That would be wild, right? For somebody on the ground in Billings who's watching the Facebook Live to look up and say, hey, the guy in the plane up there is also watching the Facebook Live. Fremont, Melissa, thanks for checking in. Robert, good evening to you. And Patricia, we'll get to that portage amount coming up. Do I need boots on Saturday? No. Judy, you will not need boots as in like it's going to be like heavy-duty snow, not Saturday. Next Tuesday, Wednesday, probably so, maybe so. We'll get to it. Gail and Portage Scooter, I'll show you that coming up. So after a tranquil day tomorrow, we're up to about 225 now on the people in the room. So let's get going here. A weekend snow. So tomorrow is quiet. I think we're going to be mostly cloudy. I wouldn't be surprised, shocked to see a little bit of sun. I would be shocked to see a lot of sun. Tiffany in the house from Kentwood. Always appreciate you being here, Tiffany. I would be shocked to see a lot of sun tomorrow, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a little on Friday. Now, how about the weekend? Let's talk about some snow on the weekend. I'm going to be tracking that for you with our hour by hour coming up. I want to be clear here. There are two systems at play. And Jared, I believe it was you, whoever said something about heard like there could be 2 blizzards in the next week. That's not true at all. Not true at all. And so, by the way, if you can go back and find out, and if that's what legitimately some source of information had, then you need to not go to that source of information. Go to the places that you trust, especially whenever the weather is getting like it is over the next week or so. So anyway, Saturday, Sunday, yeah, there'll be, I think, a little bit of snow, maybe an inch or 2. But again, that's not going to be problematic for us. Sarah, good evening to you in Battle Creek. Rigo says, let's go Lions, you bet. Judy, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay. David, flying from, you're over Holland and it was cloudy. You got to Gary and the sun popped out. Wouldn't you know it, right? Thank you, Lake Michigan, for that. Breck, no, you and Jeff will not be golfing on Tuesday. He's a golf nut, but I'll tell you what, he's not going to be out there on Tuesday. Dayton, Tennessee. Hey, hello to you. Ed, thanks for checking in. I appreciate that. From Dayton, Tennessee. By the way, my dad grew up in Harriman. I think that's not too far away from Dayton, if I recall correctly. Jeanette, good evening to you. Great to see some blue sky and sun in Coldwater. Jarrett, oh, really? Yeah, I wouldn't go for that, Jarrett. I wouldn't go for it. Craig, we might be bringing it on. Cody's in the house here from Coopersville. Thanks, Sue and Portage and Jerry. Always good to see you. All right, I'm tracking that storm for next Tuesday and Wednesday. So let's get right to it. First, we're starting with downtown Kalamazoo live, all quiet, just sort of checking in there with our Peregrine Tower camera. Now let's get to our temps. I want to sort of bust through what we got going on right now. We're in the upper 20s to around 30, but we are significantly or somewhat colder than where we were at this time yesterday, especially so in South Haven and Benton Harbor, but down 5 to 7 degrees around I-94. Grand Rapids down about 2 degrees from yesterday. Feeling like the low to mid 20s. We don't have to worry about bus stop weather tomorrow, so we don't have to worry about that so much. Tim in the house from Marshall. Thank you so much. Hello to you, Bob. And Mike says, go blue. There'll be a lot of that right in the next week. Buchanan in the house, currently vacationing in Wisconsin Dells. Well, Donald, usually you'd be seeing some snow over there, right? But not so. But things are going to be changing if you're going to be going over there. If you're going to be going, or if you're going to be sticking around over there for the next week or so. Thanks, Jared. I appreciate that. And, of course, I'm going to toot my own horn and the weather team here on the Weather Alert Network. But I will say, or the Weather Alert team, but I would say just find whatever that dependable source of weather information you have, find it. And Jared, thank you for asking me that question and for trusting me because it's really important. There's so much, as you know. There's so much going on social media where people are motivated, incentivized by clicks. And so they're going to say anything. They're going to put in bold and all caps anything to get that click, to get that engagement. And that's not where you need to be for any kind of information. But we're talking weather information here, so keep that in mind. And I appreciate you bringing that up, Jared. Cynthia and Paw, Constantine. Hello to you. Ashley, thanks for checking in. Patricia, have to drive Tuesday, Portage to Kalamazoo. In the morning, you'll probably be okay. Late in the day, it's probably going to get dicey. But still depending on where this low is going to track. And I'm going to have that coming up. We're up to 250 in the room. Carol, good evening to you in Sturgis, Colleen in Kalamazoo. Sherry in Belleville, thanks for checking in from the east side over there. And by the way, let me check. Let me mention this too. It says, love the snow coming. Keep it up. Thanks, Bob. I appreciate that very much. Deb in Battle Creek, Mike in Oshtemo, and Tina checking in from the UP. Yeah, you should be getting some snow out of this, and hopefully so. You guys need a reload up there, right? It's been pretty dead up there as far as the snow's concerned. Coldwater, Nikki, Brandy, and Bronson. Are we going to get that weather, Eric? We are. We're going to get 2 loads, one Saturday, Sunday, not much. Another Tuesday, Wednesday, that'll be more. Cody's ready to plow in downtown Grand Rapids and make some money. I hear you. Snowplow drivers so far has been nothing, right? Nothing going on. Hickory Corners. Hello, Judith and Angela in Waterville. Wednesday, it's going to be a dicey drive home for you there, Patricia. Thanks very much. I appreciate it. David, thank you so much. That's high praise. All right, let me get to it. All right, here we're looking at live Doppler radar right now. Nothing going on in our 100-mile scan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jet ahead in our hour by hour. I'm going to miss some comments here, and I apologize for that. Matt, hello to you. To the UP before next weekend. I think you might get some out of this next storm. Now, if you're talking about this coming weekend, no, not going to be a lot. Next weekend, a week and a half from now, or 8 or 9 days from now, I got a chance with this second storm coming in. Debbie in Kalamazoo, thanks for checking in. Melissa, not fair. Not fair. Shannon, hello in Mattawan, 24 in Vicksburg right now. Ben, hey, I always appreciate you seeing you here in the room, and feel free to chime in with your comments as well. I'd like to get your take on some of that stuff too. 24 in Vicksburg right now. All right, I'm jetting ahead to a Saturday morning at midnight, or Friday night, midnight, Saturday morning, however you want to call it, because between now and then, there's nothing going on. So, for example, for commuting tomorrow, pretty good to go. Tomorrow evening, good to go. Just probably lots of clouds, but otherwise fairly quiet, fairly benign weather. Chilly, but seasonably so. Saturday is when we see some snow that's going to move in, and we'll check it out hour by hour. Watch as we go through here. Notice that snow moves in from south to north. It's going to be moving in from south to north, starting at about 4 or 5 in the morning, and then moving all the way up to covering much of West Michigan by 7 o'clock in the morning. But this isn't going to be intense. It's not going to be that heavy. In fact, I'm going to play this through, and I want you to realize as I go through time here, I want you to realize that what we're talking about total in both Saturday and Sunday, total, is maybe 2 inches, and that might even be on the heavier side. So again, this isn't going to be that much, but this is the first system to come through. Got a little clipper that's coming through here. Haven't talked about our Alberta Clippers very much so far this season because our winter so far has been so dead. But these Alberta Clippers are storms, areas of low pressure that form on the lee side of the Rockies, and then rapidly intensify often as they are pushed along rapidly by the jet stream. That's the Clipper, by the way, term comes from those fast-moving sailing ships from back in the 19th and 18th and 19th centuries that had those giant sails. Those were called Clipper ships, as you know, probably. And that's where the Clipper part comes from. The Alberta part comes from because they oftentimes will originate in the lee of the Rocky Mountainside, so on the opposite side of the windward side, the east side of the Rocky Mountains, and oftentimes in Canada, in the province of Alberta. That's why they're called Alberta Clippers. And they are characterized by moving really fast. Sometimes they pack a pretty big punch, and they'll come with a lot of wind, almost like a really blustery type of storm that is in and out in a hurry, but can pack a big punch. This one doesn't pack such a big punch. And so you see here that snow's going to be around for Saturday night into Sunday. So just keep that in mind too. If you're traveling around the area, anytime Saturday morning through, I'd say mid-Sunday morning, you're probably going to encounter some off and on snow showers. I don't expect it to be a problem. As I said, I think we're looking at 2-day totals in the neighborhood of about 2 inches max. That's not much for us by our standards, and nor do I think it will cause major problems on the highway, but it is something to keep in mind. And I do think it starts to wind down by the time we get to Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. Rocky, hello to you. Hello to you too. You're right. Might not have snow. I'll tell you this. If we're going to have a school closings next week, I would say if I had to only pick one day, Wednesday, but I could see a 2-dayer with Tuesday and Wednesday, all depending on 2 things. Can't stress that enough. This is Thursday. We're looking ahead to next Tuesday, Wednesday. There's still plenty of time for things to change with the track of this storm that doesn't even exist yet, by the way, but it will. That is not really much in debate. What is up for grabs is still the track and the intensity and what's that going to mean for our area as far as any kind of precipitation goes. Let's see. So again, I could see where we could have a 2-day school closing event next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, or maybe just a 1 on Wednesday, or maybe 0. And I'll show you more on that coming up in just a little bit. Snow plus K-Wings makes a good weekend. I got you there. Jim, good evening to you. Tina's begging for no snow, traveling from Kalamazoo to Indiana on Wednesday. Could be dicey, Rebecca. And you know what I'm telling folks? And you know what? Let me get to what the National Weather Service in their afternoon forecast discussion out of Grand Rapids. And I really liked what they had to say about this. So listen to this. This is from the forecast, the person who was in charge of making the forecast for this afternoon. While what's described is far from certain at this point, talking about what the potential impacts from this storm, I feel it is worth mentioning now as a possibility for the following reasons. And this is the first one that I think is really good. It's not too early to be thinking about contingency plans for possible travel and power disruptions next week. Okay, as we get closer, we're going to be able to give more clarity. How much snow are we going to be getting? How much rain might we get out of it? What are the specific impacts in the specific locations? Too far out right now to make those calls. But what does seem to show up, remember what we say about our models here, consistency over time equals confidence. We continue to see that consistency day by day, model run by model run. And so the confidence is growing. But what is the confidence growing in? That there's going to be a storm, a winter storm that's going to impact our area. When you start to get a little bit more finer definition on that, or you're trying to look for a little bit more fine tuning, that's where you start to run into some things that are still to be determined. What is the exact track of the storm? Still too early to say. And remember, it's that track of the storm and the timing that's going to say everything that we need to know about school closings, let's say, or about how much snow or rain are we going to get. But one thing you can say right now is that it's not too early to be thinking about contingency plans for maybe some travel next week. In other words, if you can put something off that you have planned on next Tuesday or Wednesday, then now would be a good time to plan to do that. If you can't, then of course, continue to stay with us and we'll keep you up to speed on what exactly you're going to be dealing with as you make whatever that travel might be. All right, let me see here. I think I'm still connected so I can change the map. Sorry about that long discussion there. Still some model disagreement with the storm for Saturday. Yeah, for sure. You're right, David. JD in Hastings is here. Mike in Lawton. Keith and Melissa says, stay away. Stay away. Ashley, I don't think the storm's going to skip right over Michigan. I don't think so anyway. That's not really probable. Decatur, hello to you. Jenny and Sharon, rather. Good evening to you too. Sorry, I lost one of my feeds here. So let me get back into this and then I'm going to change because I want to get to what's next as far as the storm goes. Again, we're talking about two storms or two systems. One that's going to bring us some light snow over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. I don't think it's going to be problematic, but some light snow. And then a second one that's going to be coming in. I'm logging into another computer here to see if we can get that up. There we go. A second storm that's going to be, of course, lining us up here for Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, I want you to look at this. This is tracking next Tuesday's storm. I don't think we're going to have another 1978, Leslie. I don't think you have to worry about that. Thanks, Tina, and good night to you. I appreciate that. Hello, Union City, by the way. Time to play with the snowblower, right? You are right. You are right, Ben. Not only that pressure gradient, but there's a bit of a difference in. I noticed also in the GFS from 24 hours ago that it's really paired a lot of the precipitation estimates. So I think that's going to be important to watch as well. And that pressure gradient, because what Ben is talking about here is that the wind field, because we're talking all about the snow, which is a big deal, but the wind field that's going to be accompanying this system too is going to be really important. The more tightly packed the isobars on the map, the more the greater the pressure change over the smaller space equals greater wind. And so that's going to be a player in the system as well, in the storm as well. I think that right now, I think it's reasonable to expect that we'll have gusts of 30, maybe up to 40, and maybe even higher. That's still a maybe. And if that happens, that's going to be a player in the weather as well, especially if we get a lot of wet, heavy snow. Then we're looking at the potential for power outages. These are all potentials right now. These are all potentials. Todd, white gold, you call it. I know that you got a plow, right? White gold. All right. No, actually, track one on this map that I'm showing right now, Patricia, it depends. When you say track one is worse for Portage, it depends, right? It depends on what you want. If you want snow, then track one is not good for Portage. If you don't want a lot of snow out of this, then track 1 is better because it's going to be more rain. The reason for that, you see on the map, that low, it's going to be moving up from, let's say, southern Arkansas up into Missouri. And then if it continues to move more north than east, it's going to keep us in the warmer sector. And that means that our precip is more likely to be liquid than snow. We'll probably still get some snow out of it. But remember this, of course, this makes sense. Think about this. The more rain you have in that atmosphere, the more liquid precipitation, the less accumulating snow you're going to get. And so the longer we stay on the east side of that low, the more it's going to be rain. That's why track 1, which points more toward, let's say, up to Milwaukee and Traverse City, keeps us in that warmer, wetter sector longer. That means less snow, more rain. A slushy mess, a real slushy mess, but not a lot of accumulating snow in that. Rigo, I don't know about if the Lions are in the storm of the Super Bowl. I hope they're on the way to the Super Bowl, that's for sure. Cody, good evening to you. And GR, Deb, I don't know what you mean by that. Potentials are a joke. Okay, Patricia's now back to track 1. Sharon, need a good freeze or summer is going to be rough with mosquitoes. That could be a good point there too. Chris, hello to you, and Joseph, and thank you for being here as well. All right, so that's what we're looking at. Now, let me show you what we're going with here with this winter storm. And this particular hour by hour that I'm looking at here is going to have that storm going more just to our south. That's going to put us in the bullseye, if it happens, for a mix of heavy rain and snow, and a wet snow at that. Notice by about 7 o'clock Tuesday morning, remember the green is the rain, the pink is sort of the mix, and the blue is where we have snow. So by Tuesday morning's commute, we're looking at the potential for just a little bit of light snow. At this point in time, this is another element or facet that could change, and that is that the timing could also change. This could speed up, but this is what we know right now, or what we think right now. Snow begins early Tuesday morning, probably pre-dawn, maybe as early as late Monday night. I don't think it's going to be an issue for Monday or Tuesday morning commutes and schools right now. This is Thursday, but that's something else that we'll address as we get closer to it. Now watch what happens between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. Tuesday. Notice with that low, it's still bringing a lot of rain. So this would suggest that I-94 south will be more rain than snow. And let's say I-96 and certainly north will be some heavier snow. Hey, when you're starting to cut the rain snow line that fine, 4 days out, 5 days out, that's a little bit too dicey. But this is one model solution here. That low then, as it makes the transition from to our south Tuesday night late up to our northeast Wednesday morning, now we start to see some cold air wrapping around that low on a northwest wind, and we'll see everything turn to all snow, which of course then would give us just a little bit more snow and some of that colder air. Although I will say this, latest model info that I see anyway doesn't suggest that the air that's coming in behind this is going to be uber cold. And so that would not argue for, serious lake effect like we typically get when a system traverses the area like this. Bob says, bring it all. Joseph, thank you. I appreciate that. You know what, Patricia, if it looks iffy, it is. It's still very iffy. And that's why, to me, what's the takeaway from this as we move that storm all the way up to the northeast with colder air coming in with some snow showers on Wednesday? Here's the takeaway. Again, we're going to be impacted by a storm Tuesday into early Wednesday. The impacts are going to vary on the track of the storm. And right now, that's still to be determined. If the track, and there is model discrepancy, meaning the models are not in 100% agreement on the track of the storm. And you have to understand, a variance of track, or a variation in the track of the storm of 50, 60, 70 miles makes the difference between more rain than snow or just a very heavy accumulating wet snow. And so that's one of the things that we're going to keep an eye on here. Scott in Battle Creek, thank you for being here. Connie, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's very kind. Thank you so much. Ashley asked, does it warm up after the storm? Well, remember, warm is a relative term. It won't really warm up, but it's not going to be Arctic cold. There won't be an Arctic chill coming in behind here. That's why I don't, at this point anyway, I don't see there being a lot of lake effect with this. And let me get to this too. This is system snow, right? This is system snow. And characteristics of system snow, it's area wide. So everybody's participating, as opposed to, or in opposition to, lake effect, which of course there is mainly the snow belt, depending on the wind speed. And so more isolated areas of heavier snow. This is system snow. So pretty much everybody is going to get involved in this for sure. Yes, they are. You are correct. I will take a, I don't know. You know what, David, I got to say, I sort of like, thanks, Scott. I sort of like these big systems like this, because to me, they're a little bit, anything that's not lake effect oriented or related, I'll take, because I feel like it's easier to deal with. Okay. So anyway, so there you can see what we have, a winter storm timeline. I want to get to that. The winter storm timeline. So this is what we're looking at. Tuesday morning, and again, subject to change. Can't say that loud enough or enough. This will be a system snow for sure, Patricia. Ron, I asked about that today in the meeting I was in, and I'm gonna check with that. By the way, are you on Comcast? Those who can't see us at 10 o'clock on ARC that did have us on the CW. It's important for us to know, is that on the Comcast system, or because we're still there on the digital signal, but for those who are getting it off a server, it's important to know where it's coming from. So if you can let me know that, I appreciate it. Cody, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. You know what? Send it to me in a Facebook message. That would help. Send it to me in a Facebook message. I am saying two things could happen either way: rain or wet, heavy snow. Yeah, Alex, but depending, I mean, I could see where this is primarily a rain event, and at least for much of West Michigan, and that there's not as much snow. You know, Jennifer, I'd say the model that I think that I'm going with right now is one that is going to probably favor a little bit more on the snow side. However, those modeled amounts have been coming down over the last 24 hours, as I noted. And so it's not out of the ordinary when you're looking at 6, 7, 8 days out. This is why you don't trust it that much when it's that far out, for the numbers to be eye-popping. But as you get closer to the event, things start to, start to go down just a little bit. So that's what we're looking at. Okay, so let me see. Mike, will it be a winter storm warning on the bottom of the TV? To be determined. Here's by the way, the criteria for that. If it is imminent, 6 inches or more snowfall in a 24-hour period, that's considered to be a winter storm warning. But that's a call that the National Weather Service will make. I would say maybe so. Gwen on Comcast. Okay, that's what I thought in the meeting I was in today. That's what I said. So we're going to probably have to contact them and say, hey, what's up? And I'll try to report back to you when I find out. But that's good information for us, and I appreciate my Facebook Live pals here for doing that. Gwen, we'll definitely get in touch with them and see what's up with that. Bob, will there be thunder snow? Not likely, but not out of the question, because this is going to be an area of low pressure, by the way. Alex, could be an ice storm. I don't think it'll be an ice storm. I don't think so. I don't think we have to deal with an ice storm. We don't have to worry about that. School closing is possible. Sean, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. Not out of the question. Not out of the question. There's a possibility, David, that Saturday, Sunday could be a bigger snow than Tuesday, but I wouldn't put a lot of money on that one. I don't think so. Kim would rather have the rain and the warm weather that we've been having. Well, remember, there's differences of opinion there. Let me go over this timeline real quick. Tuesday morning, the snow arrives, but I don't think it's going to be problematic for morning commuters. Again, that could change, but that's the way it looks right now. Tuesday afternoon, I think we're going to be dealing with either a very wet, heavy snow that's accumulating and will be problematic for evening commute, or we're going to be dealing with maybe a mix of rain and snow that's just going to be a slushy mess, but won't be as problematic. That's still to be determined. Wednesday will be windy, I think, with some blowing snow. I think we're going to be seeing some stronger winds on Wednesday. So that's something to think about there. Kayla, just depends. I'd say on the low side, we could be looking at a couple of inches, 2 to 4 inches of snow. I'd say on the heavier side, we could be seeing enough to have a winter storm warning, which would be 6+ inches of snow. Right now, I am not as confident in going with that heavier snow as I was yesterday, but still problematic, still enough to cause us a problem for sure. I'm saying there's a chance. Yes, I am. Keep the blizzards at Dairy Queen. I like that, Nancy, and not in Battle Creek or in West Michigan. I don't think that there's going to be a big problem with that, but we could have some strong winds. There could be some blizzard-like conditions. It's not out of the question, but that is still to be determined as well. All right, here's your Sealy Auto Group 7-day forecast. There are the snow showers for Saturday, Sunday. Only a couple of inches max combined. A bit of a break in the action on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday is when we're going to be tracking those snow showers. That'll be moving right on through. All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me here. Boy, it's been a half an hour. I'm sorry, I spent too long. But I hope it was helpful with all the information that we have right now. And remember, this is still very fluid. And so things could change and probably will. But where they're going to change, what is that going to mean for our snow versus rain, the track, the timing? That's what we continue to track with every model output that comes, every new model output that is issued, that is released. That's what we're looking at. Kayla, thank you for being here. Patricia, same to you. And Jason, hope you have a great night. And Jarrett, same to you as well. Ron, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bob, you're very welcome. Thank you so much. All right, everybody, I got to skate out of here. I'll be live at 10 for those who can see me on ARC, and then live at 11 on News Channel 3. That's in just 20 minutes. Don't forget, you can follow me on Facebook at WWMT's Keith Thompson. That's my Facebook page. I am on YouTube and also Twitter and Threads and Instagram at Weatherman Keith, all lowercase, all one word, though I'm still in the Instagram and Threads jail. So I can't post right now on Instagram and Threads. And if you don't know about that, you can go back and read my post on Facebook from yesterday and you'll see what happened there. But I'm still in jail, so I can't post on those just yet. Hopefully tomorrow. That's what they say, tomorrow. Sherry, thanks for the thanks. Janet, same to you. And D. Renee McDaniel, thank you so much. Alex, thanks. And Rocky, that 7-day does look a little bit wintry, but look, we still don't have high temperatures in the 20s. I'm going to go back and do a little research. I don't even know if we've had a day so far this winter where we've had highs only in the 20s. That's crazy. I'll have to go back and look. I'm not going to make that statement just yet. But to be this far in January, and you look at the 7-day, and we still don't have it. That's coming up. So we really haven't touched into the Arctic chill. But hey, here's a little bug to put in your ear for those who are still in the room. Still got about 120 in the room. Here's a little bug to put in your ear. Indications are that by the middle to end of the month that we're going to turn a corner on this colder air and that we're actually going to see some much, much colder air. Still to be determined, but that's something that is being suggested by some of the longer range models and things that actually sort of indicate or suggest a change in the weather pattern. All right, everybody. Trudy says, keep it. Rigo, got you there. Go Lions. Alex, I believe more rain, less snow. Could be. Could be. I'll be live at 10 and 11. Don't forget, Jeff Porter's here bright and early in the morning at 4:30. He'll take you with live updates all the way till 9 o'clock. Not only will he have the latest on Saturday, Sunday snow, but he's going to have good new model data that will help to give us some better clarity, hopefully, as to what's happening next Tuesday, Wednesday. And then I come back in. He's got you at noon. I'll be back at 5, 5:30, and 6 tomorrow. We're going to do another Facebook Live tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, and then we'll have more information. The closer we get to the event, the more clear that information hopefully will be, and the better that we'll be able to give you some definition, because I know that that's what you want, and that's what we want to try to give. But we, of course, more than anything, want to give accurate information. All right, everybody, thanks for joining in. Hey, we made it to Friday. With all the weather stuff going on, I forgot to mention that. We celebrate. So let's get some good rest. Let's hit that day tomorrow. If you're a Monday through Friday person, you know it's the end of the week, so let's hit it hard and end the week on a great note. But more than anything else, let's stay safe. Tomorrow's travel conditions should be good. You should have some good commuting on the road, so that's good. Just take it easy, be safe, and be patient with everybody. That's something I need to think about as well. Be patient when you're out there on the roads. All right, everybody, thanks again for joining in. If I don't catch you tonight on the tube, I'll catch up with you tomorrow evening, 5, 5:30, and 6, and tomorrow night right here on Facebook Live at 9 o'clock.